Welcome back to Let's Paint TV. I'm your host, Mr. Let's Paint. Thanks for being here. We are happy to have you show up and participate in this exciting endeavor that we provide to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, 11 to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. I'm your host, Mr. Let's Paint. Thank you for being here again. Taking your questions on painting, creativity, and similar elements. We are a high octane, action-packed program. we are is that some oh no, sometimes generally not right out the gate. It's hard to get going sometimes. I have a hard time moving, getting anything going. I don't even. All right, I'm not gonna mention anything more than what is already. We seem to be frozen there for a second. All right, well, there you go. You got the gist of the program. Not really sure what the show's about? Google us. Maybe you want to Google us. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to. That's usually a. When someone says that, Google me. I'm not so sure really anyone really ever bothers to do that. I'm not gonna run home and Google your name. You tell me to Google you, I think I'm gonna not. In fact, if you're gonna tell me to do anything, I'm not gonna do it. Basically, don't tell me to Google you. I'm not gonna Google you. But if you want to Google me, go ahead, Google me. Let's Paint TV. But if you're like me, you're not. Go ahead and call this program. You can do that. And if you were like me, you would not call the program either. Because after all, surely, what is the point? What is the point of you calling this program? What are you going to get out of it? It's a good question. Now, if you do have some questions, AE, as into the realm of painting, if by any chance you have that some sort of interest in that, you got questions, I could give you my 2 cents on that. Maybe it's not the sense you want to hear. Good chance it isn't. But it is my humble opinion on what whatever question you have. with that within that realm. 818-528-4516, that is the number, or Let's Paint TV. Yeah, painting is a many faceted operation. Hey Jesse, good morning. Good morning to you. I have seen Jesse come in the comments section there on YouTube Live. That's one way to reach me. And also Skype me there at 818-528-4516, or you just regular phone number, or you can Skype me at Let's Paint TV. By the way, I'm not gonna. If you want to be, you can just call in. You don't have to be a friend on Skype. I'm not going to accept any more friends on Skype unless I know who you are. Otherwise, what happens is we get inundated with nonsensical chats on Skype that I could care less about. All right, and by the way, this number is only used during the hour of 11 to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. No other time. So just keep that in mind. Lines are open. But painting is a weird gamut. I think some people like to profess their almost their draconian philosophies on what painting is. As if you're supposed to follow their route and kiss their ass, kiss their hand, as if they're the mafia, the Godfather of painting, and that you're gonna just follow their route, their lead. I'm gonna tell you something. That is the lamest thing you can do with your creativity. That is lame. We're talking about here following your own true bliss through the creative process and kissing ass, kissing someone else's ass. Well, you might want to do that actually. That's another aspect of life. but we're more interested here in captivating your noggin with the creative process, whatever that is. Now, this is abstract kind of thinking here, but just if you can just take a glimpse of into your own life with what has been done and what you are doing, consider it. Consider the apropos existence of the possibilities that you may have that you have not unleashed because you're kissing ass. You're following the lead. You're listening to someone as if everything they say is gold, and they may play a good game. A lot of people play a good game. I for one don't think I don't think I would fall into that route, but maybe I do. For some of you, I flub up and fail miserably enough times that I don't think I play a good game in terms of showing at least this is my own self-deprivation, self think tank. But I'm getting to the point here. The people out there who are so certain of their output, of their process, Be wary. Be wary. Be wary of that. There's nothing worse for me to see that, to see people so certain of who they are. Nothing wrong with that. Thank God, there's some certainty here. But imposing their will, their creative thoughts onto you is a damn shame. Don't fall into that trap. Don't get hoodwinked into that. Don't, just because you see someone walking around and they're very successful, that's not for you necessarily. And if you're trying to follow those steps, you are going to pale in comparison. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you're always going to be, you're never going to be quite as good as the person that you were kissing ass to, because it would be looking like you're just kissing their ass with the work you're making. So we're trying to get you to think on your own 2 feet. Think. But it's not easy. I'm not saying it is easy. I'm still struggling, by the way, as you can see. But I think in the long run, the struggle is really where it's at, where the real meat of the operation. It's not about getting on top of that hill. It's not about having success. I'm not really convinced it is. I'm not convinced that having your success is really anything more than contempt. It's contempt in the creativity court. Sure, we want to see perfection. Sure, we want to see accuracy. We want to see how great humanity is through the arts. We want to see precision. But I'll tell you what. Do you see if we all were all about that, if we all seek that out and all promoted that kind of aspect in the arts? Do you see where I'm going? I'm pointing out that is a falsehood. That makes up nothing good. There's nothing good from that kind of activity when it's all only that activity. We need to be able to mimic, as artists, mimic reality. And mimicking reality means that things are not perfect. Do you see this? You see where I'm going? Now look, I'm not an anarchist, at least maybe in creativity land I am. Maybe I am. But I think there's room for it, and it needs to be there. Art. Here's the mistake about art too, by the way, as I get further into this. The mistake about art is that it needs to be polished, presented, polished. No, you know what? Art does not need to be that way. That's a misnomer. Art should be the last, probably, or is the last place where you can really stink it up. You can really experiment and screw things up and do it all wrong. If that's your bliss, if that's your move that you feel wanting to do. Because after all, again, being creative and being an artist is about being free. And following the rules and following guidelines and doing what someone else has been doing or everybody else has been doing and doing the correct way of doing things, the right procedures. That's not freedom, is it? Are you free? Are you free because you went ahead and followed the proper guidelines on how to be an artist and how to present your art? Is that freedom, my friends? What are you talking about? You're going to be left off to the side of the road, and creativity land, creativity train is going to keep on moving, and you're going to be left by the wayside because you're going to throw up your hands. And you're going to, I don't feel free. I don't feel free. I don't feel creatively have the freedom because I've been kissing too much ass. I've been trying to follow the guidelines. There are no guidelines, people. Oh, sure there are. Yes, you know, there can be and there is here and there. But don't get wrapped up into this guideline crap. You need to stop and throw that shit out the side of the window and get freer with what you're doing and bust out and stop following the damn rules. There are no rules. There are no rules. Nope. Yes, maybe there are some rules. I don't know. But I do know you can and should break loose. You should not wrap your mind and your time in the procedural process. Now, I gotta say this. This going on your own, this sort of throwing conventional wisdom into the, into the fan, into the garbage, disregarding rules and procedures, and not necessarily interested in doing what everyone else is doing. I get it. I understand. That is not all of us are meant to be actively looking for that. That's not in all of our DNA necessarily. For most of us, in fact, a majority of us. Now I'm going back on kind of what I've been talking about, only because I'm letting in maybe what has been pointed out, maybe through scientific research or something like that. Do you see how I'm going like that with the scientific research? As if I think that's a bunch of hooey, which very well could very well, because I'm doing that, I'm making fun of it. And that means that possibly I could be making light of it. Most likely I am. But people point out that most people are not interested and find contentment by following the rules, by following a leader. And maybe there really is no room for all of us to just get out there or we're not all meant to do that. Maybe that's, I can't say one way or the other. I want to believe that we all can. I want to believe that we all can do that we all can seek out our own dimensions. And I think, honestly, we could, at least in an idealistic way. But as there are people that are quite happy to live a regular life with a regular, just a working kind of job, and then have maybe a family, and then maybe you go four-wheel riding with your four-wheel ATM machine. Wait, ATM. What do you call those things? ATV. With your ATV on the weekend. Maybe you have a wife and some kids. That there's life. That's life. I mean, maybe that's really plenty good, and it is. So that in that sense, we're not all maybe meant. But I guess I want to again believe that we all are, because I want to believe that we are all kind of similar in as humans. We all have something in us that can benefit from doing stuff, and I think we all do. I think we get sidetracked as I do right now, thinking about something else, which is fine. Again, if you are being sidetracked, if you are being, let's say, obsessed in playing, PlayStation 2, some video game. Do they call them video games? They probably have a new name for them. Some latest computer game that might be, you're able to obsess and spend all your waking hours on, so that you can attain the highest level, whatever that level is. That there is what's really wrong with that? I can't. I'm not going to deny that there is a lot to be said about just free time and spending your time on stuff that may or may not have any real value, but in a sense, video games can and are quite helpful, potentially, with whatever you're trying to do. I think it's just trying to keeping your head together. That's really the name of the game, and maybe keeping stay afloat if you can. It's endless, the possibilities. Somehow I never got in. I used to do pinball machines. I mentioned this before. I missed out on the video game obsessive compulsive aspect of video games. Though I'd say that the computer, the internet, is quite receptive to people who are sort of obsessive compulsive or attention deficit disorder or all those various elements. The internet is quite helpful for a lot of these kind of diagnosis. And so what could be considered bad could become good. Whatever experience it is, whatever experience you have. So basically, whatever I was saying for this past half an hour, just disregard and go on with whatever you're doing. I just talked myself out of my whole TED talk here. But anyway, that's fine. I think more food for thought, more thought for the for the equilibrium, the cranium of understanding. Again, following a particularly route of activity, there's something to be said about doing just that. But I get bringing it back to, say, painting or the creative aspects. I'm not really so sure that. I think it can hold you back, I guess. I'm afraid it can. I'm afraid it does hold you back. I'm afraid, too, that just like in sitcoms, there's formulas in sitcoms. You've heard about that, right? They have formulas. So we know there's. We'll look it up. But Google it. Google it. I know you won't, but Google it. By the way, Google Let's Paint TV. I know you won't. If you're like me, I won't. You won't do it. But anyway, so formulas are famous in the writing or the production or the producing of these sitcoms. I guess a general formula for a sitcom would be this here. Someone got a letter in the mail, but it was addressed to their wife, husband, or whatever, and they were curious and they opened it up. And sure enough, they opened it up, and it was maybe it was a present for this person. Now, actually, it could be a lot of things. Actually, maybe it was a letter from an ex-lover. Anyway, regardless of what it was, then it becomes the lie. There's this lie, the cover-up. There's like a cover-up thing, and then they, they base it on these, and then during the whole program, they are trying to cover up, lie to their loved one or their friends and family or whoever are in the sitcom, and then ultimately that person finds out, and then it's all good because they love each other, and that's sort of the standard sitcom formula. There's others, and I probably botched that one pretty good in terms of a formula. Now in art, in presentation, the presentation of art, I have found. If you look at, I don't know who's interested in looking at art or go to art galleries, or just sort of stay on the outside lines. I'm more of an outside line kind of guy. I don't really necessarily go to galleries or museums or anything too much myself. I'm always disappointed, but I see enough just on the peripheral. And I'll tell you what. This is a formula. There's formula in art now. And has been probably for because we're human. We that's how we do it, right? But we need to break the formula every once in a while when we will be rewarded. Now here's the formula that I find that I see concurrent or going on right now in art. In terms of, say, putting on an art show, one formula that seems to be very, very successful is you take old literature or writings, or you take things that have been done in the past, and you repackage, you reformulate them with your own 2 cents, your take on something that's already been done. I know you can't avoid it in a sense. One can't, because it's hard to escape that. But it gets a little tiresome for me to see all these shows, art shows, that I see being shown, or performances being done, where the basis of all the work that is put out there. Just a second. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to check out. I'll see you guys. We have to cut out earlier here today, so I'll see you guys next tomorrow. I have to head out a little early here, just all of a sudden. I'll get back. If you have any questions about what I was talking about, feel free to talk to us here at Let's Paint TV, and Google me. Okay, I was on a riff, and I was gonna keep going, and I got to go. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody. But forget about that old formulations. Forget about that. Okay, I gotta go.